Want to know the can't miss things to do in Glacier National Park? I got you covered. Hey there, I'm Alex from Alex on the Map, and I grew up right by Glacier National Park, so I've done all of these things on this list. There's always going to be more to see because it is such a big park, but there are some can't miss activities that you just can't miss. One thing you should keep in mind when planning your Glacier National Park trip is that reservations have been required for 2024. So you're going to want to check out my video on that so you can get an idea of what you need to know before you go when it comes to the reservation system. I'm going to go over 6 of my favorite activities that I don't think you should miss when visiting the park, but I have an additional 5 that I've included in a blog post down below, so you're going to want to check that out as well. Also, if you want these things broken down day by day, then you're going to want to check out my video on planning your Glacier National Park itinerary, just so you don't have to worry about a single thing and you know exactly what to do on what day. My number 1 choice for things to do in Glacier is driving going to the Sun Road. This road has become super popular due to social media, but with or without it, it's absolutely the top thing you shouldn't miss. It's the main thoroughfare through the park, so even if you are planning on doing some different activities, it's probably going to get you to where you need to go. It's also the main reason why so many people plan on visiting Glacier in the first place. As mentioned, you will need reservations to drive the road in 2024. And I have a whole video too about which stops you're going to make along the way in order to get the best photos and the best views, so you're going to want to check that out as well. My second choice of things to do would be Lake McDonald on the west side of the park, and that is kind of the heart of that area of the park. It's also the center of where you'll start many of your activities, including checking out the Lake McDonald Lodge, going for a cold swim in the lake itself, or heading out on one of the mini trails that lead from there, like the Sperry Chalet or Snyder Lake hike. It's also one of my favorite ways to end my day, so I like to head to Apgar and go grab some ice cream on the shores of Lake McDonald as my way of finishing out a perfect day in Glacier National Park. Before Glacier was known on social media, it was known as a hiker's park, so my number 3 suggestion is to take a hike. Glacier has over 700 miles of trails, so it would take an entire lifetime to explore them all, but there are some obvious gems and some easier to access hikes that might be best for you. Some of my recommended trails for beginning hikers include Trail of the Cedars and the Hidden Lake Overlook, and if you are headed over to the Many Glacier area of the park, Red Rock Falls is another great choice. Some more intermediate hikes I would recommend include the Avalanche Lake Hike, Iceberg Lake Hike, and the Highline Trail. For more advanced hikers, I recommend the Grinnell Glacier Hike, Sperry Chalet Hike, and Cracker Lake Hike. Another can't miss activity is Logan Pass. I have a whole video about finding parking at this very difficult area to find parking at in the park, but you would be kind of missing out if you don't make it to Logan Pass, which is the highest point of Glacier. One way to avoid the parking issues that come with going to Logan is by taking the Glacier National Park shuttle, which will take you right there. You also want to make sure to do a quick pop into the visitor center because there's a great place to buy some souvenirs and get some more information on the park. Number 5 is to explore Many Glacier. Many Glacier is my favorite area of the park just because it is so stunningly beautiful and the hikes there are amazing. If you are only in the Glacier area for a short time, it might seem like a bit of a struggle to get over so far away from the west side, but I assure you that it is completely worth it, especially if you are a hiker and you want to take on some of those more advanced trails. However, if you don't have a ton of time and you just want to see Many Glacier in one day, it's entirely possible too. Likewise, you're also going to want to head over to Medicine, which is another area of the park that is less explored than the west side or even Many Glacier. Personally, I find Medicine a hidden gem just because you're more likely to see wildlife while hitting the trails, there are fewer people, and there are some pretty good hikes there as well. The nice thing about it too is it is in a compact area, so you can see some of the highlights of Glacier without feeling like you have to drive all over in order to do so. Those are my top recommendations of things to do in Glacier National Park, but I recommend you check out my blog post on this because there is certainly a lot more and something else might appeal to you more than the suggestions I've given. If you have any questions at all about visiting Glacier National Park, feel free to let me know in the comments, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification for more information on Glacier and other national parks.